And Mels were quite close to actually overturning that round.
मैं 2-3 लाइव स्ट्रीम कर रहा हूं क्या
It'll be a
क्या
fourth
चल
for
रहा है
Falcons. They get 5 in this half. I think it'll be. They'll be
Why
pretty
the
proud
fuck
of
did
themselves.
I thought कि भाई Falcons out है?
They
Falcons
burned
बाहर
through
नहीं
2
था.
timeouts quickly
Spirit
just to get
बाहर
this
था.
thing back
Spirit.
in order.
Okay, again, donk वाला team Spirit है. Spirit बाहर था, Falcons बाहर नहीं.
One key round.
मेरे को Falcons और Spirit के लोगों में confuse हो गया था. I mean, there are two of my favorite teams in action right now. तो भाई अच्छी चीज़ है ये. ठीक है भाई, तुम लोग मैच देखो, मैं आता हूँ, बीच-बीच में आता हूँ मैं. अभी पूरे टाइम नहीं रहेगा मैं. देखो.
Any lead in any half for Mouse is going to be refreshing.
Fast rush. Oh, Brolin. Well done. Insta-kill on Monacy. Falcons thinking they can skip a couple bits of protocol and instead find themselves 3v5, but the answer's already coming together. Brolin tests the waters again. Torji catching one with that op, and we're gonna find Kixan in the clutch this time around. Monacy was able to pull his off. Nico, not so much. Can Kixan now? Minute 20 to try to cook.
They try to embarrass him with this close, but...
I mean, he's got a player coming from behind, but Kixan still in the middle of it. Oh, it's got the headshot on the Sphinx. Unfortunately, yeah, down to a single point of HP. You'd think this clutch is now impossible.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, Torzi has the full cutoff from this angle. Brolin's going around to the safe play, which is getting into ticket, and Kixan with a molly, you know, he could force a peek, but it's got to be first bullet headshots right now.
He's got the time to try to walk around and catch somebody off. And it's him instead that gets caught on the timing. Well done here by Mouse to find that 8th round to put an end to what could have been a 4-round streak out of Falcons, but that'll cut them. 4 on the attack is all Falcons find. Fueled by Hungary's local, Torji to the top of the scoreboard has given Maus a reason to be proud of holding back the Falcons' challenge on Mirage. That op was online from the get-go, and there's no denying that Falcons felt his wrath.
He got put in multiple clutch situations this stage and actually has put up a couple of 1v2s. I've seen some impressive stuff from Torji. The stats have been up and down, but his overall output, it seems he's definitely taken to the crowd. Some crumble when they've got too many fans out there cheering for them. Some thrive in it.
kind of going under the radar in that first half too was Brolin's successful opening duels. 9 kills on the half, 5 successful opening kills.
Yeah, that last round was
big on him.
Perfect.
The climb up to cut it off. Right now we're going to get Tesses taking a look into the apartments while we get Mouse fueling a fake execute over towards the A site. That does get a lot of the Falcons players wrapped up by the util. But it also comes with a Nico frag. Now that bomb starts to try to rush over. Kyosuke's inside of the market. Zershin's gonna hit the drive-by. Tesses dead with nothing. The newest piece of Falcons trying to step up. What a snapshot over into Jimmy. Man advantage back for the Falcons. Zershin's got the rebuttal. Another challenge into the window. This would be a lot of runway for Mouse at the start of a critical T-side. Fake plant once, and it's gonna get Falcons to bite. It's gonna get them in the open. Nico dodging shots at the moment as Zershin and Brolin try to find these kills. This duo from G2 to the Falcons goes one and back. And now Nico on his hunt for the third. Misses shots on Zershin.
Oh, he wants to reload so badly. The plant's going to come down.
Quad kill on the line here for Nico. Zershin's thinking about the swing. Decides to tuck back into the corner. And Nico closing that gap slowly. Gets bested. Quad kill by Zershin again at the top of the board for Mouse.
He was on a skateboard on Cat. Ran by window. Instant headshot. A 4K close out of Zershin, and even though Nico read every peek, a lot of those shoulder peeks were perfect. He never actually stepped into the line of fire with his head. This next shot. Dirty. Yeah.
And all for naught because the other 2 players that are there with Kyosuke both get killed.
It shows you that aim is, you know, so much of the game, but also a player like Zershin, he can keep up.
Double Desert Eagle here for Falcons.
Kind of a damning pistol to lose. It's just such a tough spot. Falcons just on numbers, right? Pistols in this map.
Good pinch though. Brolin dies out. Kyosuke the first. Tesses the second. Short footing into this B bomb site. Nico misses his chance to strike one down as well. We go back to a man advantage. Mouse off of the back of that clear. Inside of the site, unfortunately, Nico can't deliver. Monacy pause on an AK. Ooh, what could have been. Instead, Jimmy in with a 3K. Torsi's gonna clear that flank. So, critically, majority alive here for Mouse as well.
Yeah, they don't care how it went. They kept 3 up, and it was a good hold. But it's so difficult to win on a B hold without something else. A fast flank and a ladder player or something like that. Kyosuke does his best effort getting that deagle kill, and it gets scary, but it's a recovery that's just as impressive. Rounds like that, you can't sweat them. You got to now think about this rifle. This is what matters for Falcons.
Here we go. Kyosuke M4 up, almost caught with that thing unprepared for the peak. And then we get Nico and Monacy to establish a Falcons advantage. Jump out from the window. Again, Mouse just trying to take this one by storm. And over towards the marketplace window is pressure that gets the best of Tesses. Nades in hand. Awkward moment.
But he can't punish.
He'll chuck that over towards the bomb planter instead, and that's going to be Torji down to 68 health. They know this T's in the corner. Smoke down, but still, Monacy's going to shave Spinks off of this post plant. Falcons have clawed back another edge. Zershin and Torji have been at the top of this board from the get-go for Mouse. And touching inside of that smoke in a moment. Bench player down. Torji, 1v3 denied.
Wow,
Monacy comes out with big impact, and Falcons find their 5th early on.
That's 4 on the round for Monacy. Each kill was fantastic, and I'm sure Spinks is regretting peeking into that window when they dropped 2 smokes there to try to hold back that retake. That's right here. Even Kyosuke put into a really tough spot. Got a dink before he died, helped out. Nico got the kill in the end, and then they had good rotates. Ultimately, still, so much of this just comes down to Monacy. That's a game saver here for Falcons.
100%. And it's nice to see from Monacy, right? We've been kind of talking about him at the major and waiting for him to kind of steal the show. Doesn't do it with the op. But he's had a couple of rifling moments now, actually, on this map. Whatever it takes, just get the job done.
You never see a discrepancy in skill when Monacy picks up an AK. I mean, that's always going to be something that you know, his reputation precedes him just in terms of how versatile he is.
One of those guys with so much depth.
Opening, closing, ops, rifles.
Just trying to put it all together at the major.
Yeah.
Final event of the year. At a major that feels more open than any major that came before it. Into the top of mid, Torzi waiting and waiting. Doesn't get that target. They'll pop that smoke open as well, but he's already tucked back around the top mid corner. So he'll lean back in case there's any kind of forward move from Falcons, but that doesn't look to be the case. Early grouping of Maus over towards A. We get that one lurk.
There's only one kit here in play for Falcons, and utility is decent from the perspective of smokes, but that's pretty much all they've got to work with. This is actually, I think, quite a good round to go for an A hit here for Maus. This comes down to the hold more than the retake, I think. I don't think
Has that utility.
Too threatened by that, yeah.
Brolin's gonna go through. Kicksan's just waiting for the Palace player.
Kicksan's alone.
Oh, he eats the teammates. No, excuse me, Zershin pops one at the same time.
This is gonna be really hard now.
Okay, Hail Mary from Monacy, doesn't connect.
That kid's in the site, they have to go pick it up.
Kyosuke, though, already here on ticket. I mean, he establishes a bit of map control. At least they can try to get this retake going. But yeah, they'll have to push past the bomb, then double back for it. Monacy, missed chance. Brolin with the Galil.
Turn around, get out of here. That's it. That's the final word here from Brolin
so
in CT.
Brolin again, opening kills.
Yeah, and I think the call is perfect from him, man. Like, the A play in this round, they drew out just enough utility. They knew that this was going to be a reasonably easy site to take, and yeah, we saw it. They felt like they could see what we saw. I feel like unlike the Falcons A-Rush call, that felt like that's a round you want to grind out a little bit longer. This is like the perfect moment for it.
Sure.
And especially if Kicksan's not playing in CT and they smoke all his teammates on the right side. It's like, well, now he's got to dodge all the flashes, all the potential mollies that come his way, and 5 players. There's no one that's going to help him. He might get a flash over triple or something like that, but you know, it's hard to coordinate, especially with how fast they move through that smoke. Maus knew what they wanted, and look at them on 11 now.
Yeah, I mean, that smoke did nothing to deter Brolin at all. Even the flash that comes out meant to save Falcons' one defender.
Our expectations have been subverted in many matches at this major so far, and it feels like every game is more surprising than the last.
I mean, you said it kind of in the halftime just to me off air. Like, once you have so many head-to-heads where it's so lopsided, eventually you're going to get that breakthrough moment. You know, Maus have done it in the past. We go back to the Austin major in the quarterfinals versus Spirit. Another head-to-head that, you know, even since then, they haven't really been able to get back their way. But in some of these big games, that is when Maus do best their kryptonite. And in this season, Falcons have been that problem for them.
It was them also versus the Mongols in the quarterfinals of Shanghai.
For a team that can't quite seem to complete the runs, still able to beat the first Goliath.
They gatekeep the runs. It says 30 max premium.
Brink of a 12th round, still waiting for somebody from Falcons to go God mode. We've seen the clutches, we've seen the potential, but
look how they're clumped right now. Falcons, they don't actually know what's going on this round. They're getting real suspicious about A, and they're actually leaning in the correct direction.
Sure.
That's a nice sign for them. But you can see the way that they're looking.
It must be difficult to lean in this direction as well when we have had Maus just go for those B floods at the start of this attack. No stranger to just jumping out through apartments.
It's going to take a second because they need to get their connector players up.
It still remains smoked at the moment. Already now we're starting to get this push over towards the B site because Kicksan's finding ramp for free.
This is what happens when you lack information. You start making blind moves.
3 entrances.
Oh, so bad. Kicksan, he thinks that this is knowledge is not an A play. They just avoided his only choke point.
3 entrances and Maus only played 2. So this is going to catch them off, but Nico could still save it. Insta headshot on Jimmy's, a good start. You get that 3-player flood up through connector. Nico, another execution, triple headshot. Palace players able to try to move back. Spinks has got the answer with a double of his own, but it's too far removed. That was a big moment for Nico to step up, and he does.
Oh, what's so nice is that those kills convert to a round now. Finally, we've seen him really light up a round. Couple of 2Ks, excellent aim, headshots only for Nico, as you would expect. But here, the impact directly leads to that conversion. Great A-hold, and it's, you know, it's not Kicksand making a bad move, or, you know, if you push a ramp that late into a round and you don't see anybody, like, you can reasonably say it's likely that it's not going to be an A play, but they made sure to leave someone in a spot to punish that can be safe as well. If Nico was over at default, maybe he dies, Kicksand can come in to help. So he picked a good spot to play off of the fact they pushed a ramp, and yeah, they stretched that A site thin, but they made it work.
That's Nico to the top of the charts as well off the kills. Falcons find that convincing round. Falcons send Mouse into the bottom of the bin. Desert Eagle here for Xertion. Timing not quite found.
And even though we haven't had extremely tough tests for Falcons so far this stage, like Nico's been incredible.
Sure.
We've seen him some great maps.
You know, this is a test that we know Falcons can pass. In fact, they do every single time this season. But doing it in Budapest was the question.
Still not a huge fan of the way that first half of that round played out for Falcons. Sure. I would have liked to see late retake on mid. I would have liked to see a little bit more info. I mean, I guess the Kicksand push in their mind, that's a lot, so fair enough. But if they let this happen again, and, you know, we've got free roam right now for Xertion, and he's just got a deagle, but his job is to lurk.
All he needs is Nico to put his head on that silver platter.
They're not coming back to clear this either. You just don't want the guy with a deagle to be a problem in a late round situation.
It's a good nade. Spinks chipped down, but he plays ahead of the smoke. Ooh, hold on. No smoke. It's over towards Palace. Wall goes up. Frag goes deep. Over towards that ramp. More chip damage in.
Oh, he took out Monacy.
Nico kills Jimmy. You've got Xertion trying to activate up through connector, but Nico's got the multi-frag again. Nico steps up in another multi-kill moment, and other pieces of success for Falcons surround him. So stepping up and not as all in on that Nico forward position on ramp. This is better, no, from the setup?
Oh, yeah, it is better for sure. I still, you know, there's still some gaps that they don't have full info on, but like Nico's the right spot, and honestly, I think Monacy dying is just a little unlucky for him. Like right that next second, his teammate gets the instant refrag. So it's overall good. They find themselves in a similar spot to the first half, making a comeback now. Eliciting an eco here from Mouse. Time to think, time to regroup, and time to build the money up.
Full save as well. Not one flash, not one deagle, nothing here for Mouse. You know, we'll kind of compare this back to the first half, Mohan, when all of a sudden Falcons find a couple of successful rounds back to back, and Mouse suddenly this game no longer looks like a free close.
I mean, if it gets any closer, like now it's going to be about pistols, right? 2 pistols in this game for Mouse. That's the whole lead.
4-0 start in the first half. 2-0 start here on the attack.
A matchup like this with your neighboring nemesis, you see it every tournament, ending your run over and over again. It's gonna be things like pistols that change that result. Not these pistols, though. This should be no problem.
Especially with Nico catching Roland. Tesses can full focus ahead. Bit of a shooting gallery. Easy. Quad headshot moment for Tesses. Feed him the unarmored clocks, why don't you? It's a 3-round game.
And what this means now is just that they'll have money to buy. Even if they lose, they'll have money to buy. So, Falcons have stabilized it very hard. They're a few rounds down, but it does get scary here for Mouse. So they try to figure out how to close. Yeah, and also the last 2 8 takes, they took a lot of the round. They didn't lose a player early. They had all the space they were looking for. They'd even had Falcons believing it was B for a second. Still didn't win that round. How many good chances do you get? Last time out burned here for Mouse.
$25,000 pool of money on the side of Falcons in surplus. It's going to be a grind for Mouse. Falcons have kept that door open. While Mao's waited for this buy, it still comes in with a limitation. Brolin's Galil, when we talk about his success in opening duels, gonna have to do that with a Galil. Could be a daunting challenge, especially in the face of warmed up Falcons players. Spinks tries to get an early angle towards apartments. Instead, all he's gonna do is eat that frag grenade. And we've been waiting for kind of Spinks' big moment. Quietly, he's now down to an 8-13 scoreline.
Absolutely, he's got an ace at this event so far. Almost got 2.
And guess what? That came late versus Paravision as well. So you'd be a fool to write him off. But you just think at 55 HP, the odds ever lower in this round.
Cyclone's changing it up. They want to make this a beat lane. And it's, again, Falcons without info on mid. So at some point, you know, you are going to make the wrong move one way or the other.
Kyosuke.
Oh, this is a huge peel back. You actually have Spinks leaving his spot, now working towards underpass. This is turning into an A play all of a sudden. I wonder what has conjured up this moment here for Mouse.
Going to the
now
A play.
Now we're going to have the reclaim of mid here for Falcons. They're getting really pressed up against the windows. They're not going to see anybody here. But what info is no info in this spot? Surely with no cap player, they're worried about A.
Also, only one smoke for the execute
Smoke
here.
on both sides. They're splitting the difference. Where does Nico go? That's what we have to watch. Got to be CT.
3 seconds to this clock, full-blown execute setup, but that execute only features one smoke grenade for Mouse. That's gonna keep the door open, most likely for Kicksan. And he takes an early peek. Now 2 members of Mouse, sub 50 HP. Kicksan wants to go back. They don't have the smoke to cover it, but at least the Molotov to prevent that top stairs peak. It's gonna burn out though, and when it does, somebody's gonna come peeking over top of those steps, I guarantee it. Brolin bests Nico, Zershin catches Kicksan.
Can they plant?
Mao's down to 6 seconds, bomb just got dropped by the wall bang, and there's the pressure up from Ticket. Falcons step up into the fight, and they will do so with 2 players surviving.
Oh, that's massive. I mean, the style of attack was good with the molly on stairs, how they were pressuring CT. No one within the site, but that actually might have worked to Falcons' benefit. Instead of sacrificing one guy like they did with Kicksan earlier, they made sure to retake this one together. Now a smile on Kyosuke's face. 2-round game. 3 very good rifle rounds we've seen from Falcons on this comeback, all versus A plays. Mouse tried to, they diverted from their own idea to make this a B hit. We saw that Spinks was up there in B apartments waiting for his teammates to get up cat. But for the first time, Falcons, they come and check mid.
Trying to rally.
And a full B hit late into the round without cat is really unlikely, especially if a team has been successfully taking mid over and over again.
Ooh, already showing a bit of skin towards ramp.
This is one of the scarier rounds because they know Maus are going to half buy. They know exactly sort of what they're going to be working with, and it's just about don't make mistakes here.
We'll see what kind of timing Maus throw out as well. And it's not all of Maus on just pistols either. That Jimmy AK looks for an angle through window already.
Let's see if Nico wanders back in a window. This is what they're looking for.
Kyosuke's allowed this angle wide. Nico's gonna go right on the brink, but I think he saw it.
Yeah, he did.
He prepares himself to go into the duel. Kyosuke still holding towards that bench peak. He wants these players of Maus to try to take a step up towards him. Nico then queued up for the window peek. Pistols for the majority here. And Kyosuke confident within that mid-challenge. He will drop Zershin. Still, Jimmy's AK in this mix. We go to 40 seconds. Brolin taking his time over towards the ramp is applying no pressure onto Modesty. So a shooting gallery down through Khan. 5v3 established. 30 seconds now. And Maus trying to get this push to go, but Modesty, it's his show. Easily steps back up to it for another kill off the op, and this one fizzles out already. Maus's AK never able to get this challenge going.
Jimmy just wants a fight.
No frags found until this moment. 15 on that clock. Spinks has got the bomb. Oh, this Eagle kill. It could have been huge. Would have ran that bomb in, would have had a gun and a clutch attempt late. Instead, a 1-round game, and Falcons right on Maus's heels.
This is such a classy comeback out of Falcons. Some tough rounds, some good responses. They're not losing the anti-ecos. Like, it's just been so solid, and they've made up for the pistols and then some. Looked like Falcons were under pressure, now looks like Maus.
Silver lining, Maus's economy stays alive. Purchase back for Torji. Op is here for Maus to try to challenge, and you've got Nico kind of playing out on an island. There's a world where he gets punished on some sort of a fallback, maybe an overface. Smoke pop momentarily. Nico still floats down here. Kyosuke gonna fall back. Nico takes a ton of damage for just looking at middle. He is sitting on 25 health now.
He's a good guy to beat up. You know, not opping here with the rifle. Has been very active. Key component. Mouse are missing some X factor while this comeback is taking place for Falcons. Nico's the one who's shining here. There's no 2K entry to cement the bomb plan and guarantee the round. It's not coming down to a 1v1 retake defuse, nothing like that. Falcons are suited up. This is gonna be the last chance for Mouse to have real confidence before a round begins.
Finding mid for free this time, right?
Yeah, they found that like 3 out of 4 rounds.
One time Falcons really push into it, there was nobody home.
Extremely, no, we have.
Here we go, fight on ramp, and Jimmy gets bested. Kicksan has gotten so much value out of these ramp pushes. Kyosuke starts to turn away from that window push. 3 members of Mao's up and through connector. But Kicksan doubles back, and as he sits towards the Tetris side, there's the strike. Kyosuke gets his, and it's utterly stuffed again. Unfortunately here for Spinks, no bomb possession. Falcons are going to tie this game at 11 rounds all, and just pushing off of the ramp again. Look at the comfort that Falcons have found.
I mean, I gotta give it to Nico. I feel like he's kickstarted this whole thing with his early impact, and his team's just coming together fully. Kicksan does a good job of coming back from the ramp. It's a position where Nico was sitting there at Tetris, but if Kicksan shows himself, he's also the guy who got the A-ramp push kill this time.
This game is feeling like it's slipping, and this is a Cyclone who has no more pauses.
Yeah, the X Factor moment, I mean, he's probably tried his best to make something happen, but I think they've been trying to put lipstick on a pig with these A hits.
Getting so much value out of these. I mean, Nico doesn't even have to show his hand.
Yeah, and so, you know, Kicksan, you know, even if he dies, they're fine.
Yeah, but he steps it up himself. Nice moment for the in-game leader of Falcons. Missed window smoke. Maus are feeling the pressure.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue to feel it all round long because they do not have the tools for this job. Falcons have seemingly earned themselves a free 12th.
Just another round, just don't mess up, and they haven't so far.
Nothing usually comes for free at this level of Counter-Strike. Xertion gonna try to keep that pressure on Tesses, who really hasn't been tested for quite some few rounds now. At the start of this T side, that B bomb site had players flooding out through the windows almost instantaneous. And Maus have just had this stubbornness about them, taking it back to the A side. Connector hasn't been able to puncture through.
No, that's been a non-factor. Unable to get any CTs to be, you know, turning around. And Mona's taking a little risk here. No one up in Palace for him.
You know, Maus have surrendered themselves to playing for overtime by coming into this one with just Eagles and Tech 9s. And is this suddenly where they no longer feel that pressure on their shoulders, where they can play a little freely? Kicksan again with a double kill off of the ramp push. Now Monacy's off inside of the ticket hold, and he gets whittled down to 40 HP. There's an M4 in Torji's hands at this moment. And while Maus haven't been able to cross over for free, the pressure remains thick. Monacy's op shot comes in, connects. There's that Tech 9 to try to charge them down, but it's a beautiful flash and a denial. There goes the M4. There goes Maus's lead. Falcons on to 12.
Yeah, that's massive out of Falcons, man. No mistakes here. This entire CT side. Just aggressive enough, just strong enough until the late round, not giving up the opening until it's very late. It's been a game of handshakes in every round. Let's let you exec. They haven't had to push the top mid, no underpass plays, no B apartments pushes at all. And Maus haven't tested B almost at all either.
Seven rounds consecutive here for the Falcons. A masterclass of momentum.
Ooh, this one's gonna sting. 2 pistols for Maus in this game.
Confidence boiling over for Falcons at this point, probably feeling untouchable in the calls is Kicksan. And Monacy establishes that first opening gambit. Now Xertion catching Nico though. A little Hail Mary here in round 24.
It's the most space that they've gotten this early.
Unfortunately, it's not with anything really behind it. It is just Xertion trying to operate solo. Kicksan off of default. It's gonna get the better of him. And this was all while the rest of Maus still just remained in the open, playing their options, but nobody playing to trade Xertion.
You see, you know, Kyosuke is such a beast in these spots, you know, patrolling these headshot angles. You know, you can just leave him there forever. And this is finally the moment when maybe it's too late. They want to try to test Tesses on a rifle round in this side of the map, and look who's here.
Monacy Opened up shop with that first kill towards mid, meant to make this 24th round easy. They'll play that smoke, and TeSeS only able to get the one. m0NESY here for his second frag, ready to put this map on ice, ready to shatter the dreams of Maus of starting this series with a Mirage victory. Masterful calls by Kixen, excellent performance from Nico, and m0NESY with the cherry on top closes out a Mirage game that felt like Maus's from the get-go. Both pistols fully converted. Strong performance from Torji and Sershin, and yet it is all for naught.
It's an excellent team performance there from Falcons. You absolutely love to see it. They didn't even have to do too much. They didn't get pushed to the next level. They didn't have to do anything beyond what was comfortable. Inside of mid, pushes on either side of the map. It was all Kixen getting aggressive a little bit. That's all it took to make that come back perfectly.
Adrenaline rushes is numbing the pain. Competitive, I like the narrative. I don't know best in the league. You comparing with that is definitive. Papa the throne of the scene. Are you up and slow on the speed? I just been bringing the heat. I just been bringing the fire. Bringing the fire. I just been bringing the fire. And they stop here.
You see the match. We see every restart behind it. You see lightning-fast reflexes. We see countless hours building trust. You see a single moment of triumph. We see the 1,000 failures that forged it. Victory isn't just the moment. We win because we reached it together. Level up as one.
You know you've been cutting, you know I'm ascending. I'm one of them winning. I'm one of them winning. I'm one of them winning. I'm one of them winning.
The return of Area 51, Alienware's highest performance desktop yet, equipped with powerful Intel Core Ultra processors. Innovative architecture designed for ultimate gaming. Engineered to evolve alongside your game. Encounter the legendary Area 51 at Alienware.com.
Create a lobby by your own rules.
we know.
Okay.
Okay. This guy?
Yeah. So this looks kind of like that, right? Like a little bit, but something strange. Yeah. Is it the glasses? Maybe he normally has like black glasses.
I think he's doing that.
I know. What do you think about the beer? I think so. Send that. Send that. That's it.
There you go.
That was perfect. Easy. Okay. Next one.
You too much makeup. He's like anime hero. And if you look like this, I'm his fan. Tattoos. He does have tattoos, but who has that? He doesn't have tattoos. But in the switch, let's go easy.
First? What the fuck Frozen is there?
Frozen is bro there. I mean this. Yeah, this one was look like two twists. Yeah.
No Frozen.
Makaze is obviously the headset. Like headset of Ima headset.
Okay, there is no mouse.
Maybe he's crushing it.
No, stop. Okay, I would say no.
It's the mouse.
Let's go.
Virtus Pro. They're not on major.
There you go. Has elephants here in the picture. Holy shit.
Oh my, no, that
Yeah, it's difficult to see, but yeah.
Oh, Zipnix.
It's a wonderful Zipnix.
Funny.
It's a wonderful Zipnix. Wow, Zipnix hair?
Looks good on him, no?
Yeah, I think so. Like, looks young.
it's obvious. Mouse here, yeah.
Window was jungle. I hold. Jungle. I pick on you, Ilya.
Is it jump ladder or underground? He's on the ground.
Under. You should kill him.
I'll try and kill him.
He's under window or under.
Underground.
Okay. I'm stepping right now.
I'm also stepping.
Nice. Fucking nice, Damian.
Nice,
Damian! Nice,
good job, man. Smoke fade in Maxim.
They smoke on A, Celtic. I smoke on Damian. Silly. One more ramp. Pistol ramp.
Bomb.
Two ramp with bomb. Ramp and palace. Just play retake.
I'm running CT to you, Ilya.
Under stairs.
I'm coming CT, Ilya. I have two flashes.
Defaulted. Stay alive, guys. Send
I'm flashing behind you.
I flashed Tetris, Maxim. Default and CT.
Flash CT.
Go. I'm going out. Firebox. Nice!
Nice, good job. Nice, Ilya.
Pimp and Maui are here to break down what you've just seen. And before we get into the map itself, gents, from stage 1 all the way through to now, we talk a lot about what the major brings to a player, the pressure that they feel sometimes, the change of atmosphere when you walk in here and it's a major versus something else. We've spoken a lot about how that impacts rookies, but my big question is it impacting Manasi?
That's a good question, and I think it's a valid question based on what we've seen so far in the tournament. And I think the reason why we're asking the question is what we saw in Austin, what we saw in Cologne, what we've seen throughout the year, Maui, where Manasi have been absolutely fantastic in all the tournaments apart from the big ones. We saw him in Hong Kong 2 weeks ago, play Counter-Strike like was he the best player in the world. Yet here though, at the major, he hasn't really been up to par, especially with data.
If people just tune in for the very last round, they're going to think, what are we even talking about?
Okay.
But it took until round 21 for Manasi to get his first op kill. And about half of his op kills, in fact, I think 4 of them were against eco rounds. So, I kind of set it up in the pregame, the fact that I liked his rifling a lot. We saw a great moment from it. But yeah, to answer your question initially, Tech Girl, it does feel like we're getting a slightly different format of Manasi. Because we saw this was good. By the end of it all, you're happy with what he did. But compared to the exceptional player in Chengdu, in Hong Kong, not quite the same, not living up to that same standard, which he created for himself.
Do you think the scoreline was a little bit too close for comfort for a Falcons fan?
I mean, they were looking to lose that game, to be completely honest. They had to bring it back in the first half. It felt like Mouse had the number, felt like Mouse were the better team. Roland, as an in-game leader, involved in 10 opening duels, won 7 of them. Felt like he read them, felt like he had a good idea of what the game plan should look like and how to execute it. So, yeah, it was way too close for comfort. And if anything, it was good to see Falcons fighting back. Modesty stepping up in the second half. But I think Mouse, on the other hand, will be disappointed they didn't close it out. They had a big lead.
Without a doubt. I mean, I feel like when you look at Mao's, when you look at some of the plans they were trying to execute there at the tail end of the game on the T side, not necessarily bad ideas, just, again, the margins being stretched by the Falcons players, and huge credit to Kyosuke throughout this one, and huge credit to Nico, because I don't think they really would have had much of a first half to talk about Falcons to give them the buffer in order for people like Kickstand, for people like m0NESY to truly get activated in that second half.
Talking about that first half, though, I mean, there was a moment where maybe the issue that m0NESY has as the majors is that he needs to stop picking up the AWP and rifle.
It feels like that, and that's why it was nice to see him early on, I think round 5, where he gets the early 1v2 in order to just make sure that there's something to talk about for this game, or else it would have been just Mao's running away with it 5 in a row to kick the whole thing off. And he is just so precise with the rifle. Again, coming into this tournament with the AK in his hand, he was putting up stats that rivaled Donk in terms of just efficiency with the weapon. And so I feel like he needs to sometimes recognize, yes, the AWP is so impactful, so valuable, but on the T side, man, you might just be one of the best 3 AKs in the world, so keep to it.
See, that's the thing, right? It's a glass half full, half empty in that regard, because I agree with you. m0NESY is an absolute outstanding rifle player, but he's also an outstanding AWP player. So at what point do you pick up the rifle? At what point do you pick up the AWP? More often than not, I think he can find more impact with an AWP. He can install a bit more fear in his opponents, but if you're m0NESY, you can also have the luxury of saying, like he did here Mirage, okay, I'm not feeling it, I'm not hitting my shots, I pick up the rifle, and then I find impact and end up being the highest rated player on the CT side for the team. So it is kind of a blessing in disguise for m0NESY. He can do both, but maybe sometimes it's interfering with each other, because he's also doubting himself. What should I actually do right now? I'm good at both.
Let's dive in. How did Falcons win this in the end? What was their comeback in that second half?
Well, I mean, round 22, I believe it is. That was the key round in the game. You see the money on the mouse side right here. They have 0, 0, 0, 0, and $100 in one of the players. Another round where Kickstand finds an awful lot of impact. Had a great read on it, aggressive on the CT side, and mouse kind of ran out of time. It was so clean here performance.
The push into Ram from Kickstand and Nico was great because they were proactive. They didn't want to just play on their heels. And then I love this from Kyosuke to have the gall to push through the jungle smoke, to find that timing as they're trying to encroach, to create a crossfire that shouldn't even exist. I mean, that's how, again, a Falcons player in Kyosuke is just going beyond his years, recognizing it's Mao's who are pressured, trying to just shuffle into that bomb site, and he just stops them in their tracks.
Kyosuke and Nico did the work there, I would say. If it wasn't for them, maybe this would have been a very different scoreline.
But that's the thing, I feel like all of them did a decent amount of
work. By the end, everybody.
And that's the thing, right? Everyone had a moment in the game where they were the difference maker. Maybe Nico in the beginning of the CT side kept them alive, then m0NESY stepped up, then Kickstand with some proactive plays. So all of them can be proud of the performance. Even Tessus, you know, I know it was against Nico, but shut down a B push, 4 quick kills with the M4A1S. So it did feel like Falcons warmed up into the game, and that's why I think if you're mouse right now, you're very disappointed. It was Falcons' pick coming into Mirage. You think to yourself, you win that, you go into Inferno, a map that Falcons notoriously have been struggling on as of late. You're all of a sudden in a prime position to book a spot in the playoff. Fast forward 10-15 minutes, Nico gets alive, m0NESY gets alive, and now you're the one finding yourself down 0-1. So I think, if anything, mouse right now is disappointed. Nico obviously stepping up, that's great to see, but they had them where they wanted them in that first half.
What could Mouse have done differently in the second half to be able to close this out with a victory?
Well, close the game when it was up for grabs. I feel like once you allow Nico and m0NESY and Kyosuke, for that matter, to get a sense of the feeling for the game, you know, give them a bit of confidence, then you kind of missed your window of opportunity in that regard.
I don't feel like any of the strats were really that bad for Mouse. They were getting really close to the bomb sites. It's just the individuals sometimes were getting them over the line. I guess if I had to outline one thing, maybe keep your extremity player a little bit more active and alive. I mean, we saw in that round there, it's Yimpat that gets caught by that kind of push. If he has a little bit more presence of mind as he's approaching, it's the difference between getting onto a bomb site where you're crunching it or you're the ones that are running into a crossfire.
We're moving on to Inferno. Obviously, this is Mouse's pick. They look very strong on it. But is there a way that Falcons is able to close this out 2-0 and secure their spot in the playoffs?
I think there is, because I think when you look at the results for Falcons on Inferno, they've actually been getting better. I know in Chengdu, it was a question mark, didn't look too good. In Hong Kong as well, they were testing on it. Vitality picked it against them. I think Furia picked it against them, and they looked good. They looked competitive, even were able to beat Vitality on the map of Inferno. So as much as I agree that it may not be Falcons' strength right now, I don't necessarily think think it's a weakness anymore. And that's something they've been bettering in terms of the map.
I feel like watching them at Chengdu versus Hong Kong, what I noticed is that there's just a little bit more structure to how they start their rounds, especially on the T side. At Chengdu, they're walking into open angles. People in the last matchup that they played against each other in the third place decider, Kyosuke's walking into an off bullet from Torzi. You had Tessus walking into a hull stack. You have players that are just maybe taking a few too many liberties early in the round. And so in that last game, they just kind of, Falcons that is, had to just hammer B hits. And that's when Mao's just kind of came away with it because they knew what was coming before it even happened. But now, we're at Hong Kong, they started just having a little bit more direction, a flash towards hull so they can get that sort of space, a flash towards bracket so that Torzi doesn't get an easy pick. And those little extra details set their players up to find those open spaces and take the duels they want.
If I'm not mistaken, there was also the half of that third place decider where Modesty had 0 ADR. You know, he didn't do a single point of damage throughout the entirety of a T-side half. So obviously that's got to be an outlier. That's not going to be the case here. That's not going to be the case against Mouse today. So in terms of how much do you put stock into what happened between these two teams last time around, I think the big outlier is that Modesty was non-existent on the server, and that's obviously not a change today.
Mouse, we've heard the last 2 days quotes from them. We got to hear comms where it was like, I don't want people sighing into the mic. Yeah, yesterday we heard this thing, I don't want to see you get tilted if we lose here, which tells me maybe concerns mentally about this team being able to reset. If they now lose this 2-0, they obviously drop, they have to fight for their lives tomorrow. Mentally, coming in from the being 2 games up, that's going to mess with them a little bit, right?
We love to speak about pressure, and no one can deny the pressure that Falcons is under from within, from the community, from everywhere. But I think Mouse is also feeling a certain amount of pressure. The fact that they haven't been able to win any trophies, and that's always the conversation around them. That's one type of pressure. Torsten, on home turf,
yes.
If you find yourself in a 2-2 game, all of a sudden you're not guaranteed to play in the playoff. You're not guaranteed to play in the Budapest Stadium when you are arguably one of the best teams in the world. I think that's even more pressure than Falcons is feeling right now, which is maybe why we're seeing some of those atypical voice comms coming out from us.
For Torzi, I just feel like he knows what he needs to do, but I feel like he's actually maybe caged himself, because when he first came onto this Mao's lineup, he was a loose cannon. The dude was going for so many aggressive plays, but now it almost feels like he's the secondary IGL of this team, and sometimes then you're playing so much by the book because you're trying to make sure that everything's outlined so correctly. I would like him to be a little bit more wild, a little bit more aggressive versus a team like Falcons, because you need to have an X factor when their whole team is filled with X factors. So for him right now, obviously tons of pressure. He hasn't really stepped into this major with the exception of the most previous map, and I'd say 1 versus Spirit. So if he's able to at least tie the series for his own lineup to get the Hungarian crowd something excited about, that would just mean the world for him and to give them confidence in the series.
Does Manisi show up this map?
I think so. You know,
Definitely.
I think his last time he played Inferno T-side, I saw him in Hong Kong as well. He did a fantastic job, as we spoke about. Had a great tournament, both with the rifle and with the AWP, so I can't see a reason as to why he wouldn't show up. But I am curious to see how Falcons is going to approach this. Last time around, it was a third place decider. One would argue that it didn't mean too much, so I think we're going to get a different dynamic in this game. We're going to get a Modesty that has more than 0 ADR in the first half on the T-side, and that should change things quite a lot.
I'm most excited about Kyosuke in this one because I feel like every single tournament we're watching this guy play, he's getting a little bit smarter, but he's staying ever so cracked. He's just constantly in 50-50 duels, making it look like he's the one that's advantaged. The way he's positioning himself, the speed, the time to kill is so absurd. And it feels like this is the next generation of aimer that we're getting. Falcons knew that. That's why they went big on him. That's why they just maybe threw away some in terms of team dynamics to try to move Nico away from the star roles. If he's able to lock in this playoff position for Falcons here, I mean, this guy's growing up before our very eyes.
So before we get into this, I just want to remind you, if you're watching at home, that you have an opportunity to win. If you want a black light chair, all you need to do is do !blacklight_chair. I've seen some of you missing the underscore. Get it right, okay? You heard me, !blacklight_chair. You can win a chair. It's on all of our English streams, and you can enter on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube as well. So make sure you do that because you can win a prize. Really quickly, fan sentiment for me when I chat to people in the audience here, they don't seem too concerned about this result because they feel like both of these teams will be in the playoffs anyway.
Sure.
Safe place to play, or a little bit dangerous? Because you can never say never. There's always that one upset at the major.
I mean, I wouldn't like to be in a 2-2 scenario if I were either Falcons or Mouse. But yes, regardless of who they face tomorrow, they will be the favorites, right? They are one of the teams that you had coming into this major being a title contender. Falcons more so as of late with the way they've been playing. Obviously second in Hong Kong, pushed Furia in the final, and have been looking better and better from tournament to tournament. And you can never discredit the fact that Mouse always finds a way into the quarterfinals, into the semifinals. So regardless of what happens in this game and on this next map, I still see them as favorites tomorrow, but I wouldn't want to be in a 2-2 scenario. That's question.
The thing is, I don't want to be favorites tomorrow against a team I know I'm better than. If I'm Mouse, I want to beat a team that I haven't been beating. Give me some confidence going into the playoffs. Because right now there's a big three for me. It's Falcons, it's Furia, it's Vitality. Mouse is not in that three, but if they're able to take down Falcons here, then we can start a conversation.
It's time, gents. We're getting ready now. Mouse up against Falcons. Of course, Falcons took their map pick. Mouse now has the opportunity to equalize. Scrawny, Launders, how is this going to play out?
Oh, Sam, your guess is good as mine, but I can't help but feel like if I'm putting myself in Mouse's shoes, you've got a burden in that you cannot defeat Falcons this season. You had them against the ropes in the first map. Everything just comes crumbling down around you. Can't help but feel like Falcons may be stepping over top of Mouse's little body just one more time this year.
Yeah, I mean, even though it wasn't their map pick, it was such a big opportunity, and they won both pistols, like the lead, everything. They set it up so nicely, and I don't even think Falcons were really pushed that hard when it came to that CT side.
No, not in that streak of rounds they found. You know, silver lining, Mouse, obviously, it's always Inferno, and the 4 times they've played Falcons this season, 3 of those go the way of Mouse, 1 of them the way of Falcons. And this is also the map that's had the biggest blowouts to the Mouse favor. So, let's let them do the talking, shall we? Already
That's
total short
good.
control, already A-site wrapped, but that gap on smoke. They weren't ready for it. So Nico makes the most of it, establishes a man advantage. Towards he already hears this fast flank coming down from the B site. Will he anticipate a third? Yes, insta headshot onto Kixan. You've got m0NESY in a tough spot. He sends his teammate back towards Boiler to deal with it. And so m0NESY this whole time just kept his eyes on the prize. That's the bomb site. Jimmy, concerned about the potential apartments flank. Beretta's point blank goes down. And now Kyosuke in the clutch, dodges the apartments player, but a fresh mag needed, pressure back applied, and he's gonna be cleaned out. 3 for 3 on the pistols or Mouse.
And that's gonna be a nice stat if they win. So obviously you never turned down a good start. Here's another one for Mouse. Very nice round out of, I think, Torzi, because he heard 2 players coming fast on the flank. The third guy was thinking he was gonna creep up, walking slowly and guarantee this trade, but Torzi didn't get tunnel vision. And again, they know who they're playing against. There are going to be tendencies that will win this game for one team. So much better than a demo, the live head-to-heads.
Just don't fall victim to any shenanigans. Don't let yourself die to the single MP9. Desi started debating the very unique type of pressure that Mouse and Torzi will start to feel playing in front of the home crowd. 2-0 start makes you think that you've realized your dreams, but everybody knows the folly of the 2-0 to 2-3 journey. God forbid that's Torzi's story here in Budapest.
Looking like a good move here. I mean, they immediately called a bluff. And Falcons tried to block to trick him, but that won't work. TSS, chance to get some damage in. They might be a little concerned not having got that kill. But no, they're going to trust themselves.
Wrap around the arch side with the smokes up. This is a whole lot of threat for TSS to have to deal with, and he gets caught even trying to just clamber over the wall. So he'll go down with nothing. Roland's Mac 10 makes a bit more money and also just a bit more confidence. Mouse, you know, you trust yourself to go for that full-blown hit, and your trust was well-founded. Completely empty site barring TSS over towards Pit, and a great way to start to grow the funds early on. I mean, this earns Mouse a pistol, the conversion, a bonus round as they'll come into the next one still with Mac 10s.
My mind's still on Mirage a little bit with the comeback because, again, it's not like Falcons did nothing wrong. They did exactly what they needed to do. A lot of their players, like, this was highlighted by Maui. m0NESY started to get his op kills at the end, but throughout had his rifle frags. But they weren't adequately tested, I feel like. There was so much A play. There was so much the exact same timings on every hit that came towards the A site. They didn't really do anything except pushed A ramp a couple of times. Like, were Mouse mentally a little weaker than they actually appeared by the scores in that game? That's what I'm trying to figure out. They failed to close the game. It didn't look like they choked it. You know, Falcons, they played well and earned all those rounds, but I just don't know if they were tested enough. And I thought if mentality was going to be a problem, it was going to be more of a problem for Falcons in a game like this. Because, you know, it's not elimination today, but nobody knows what happens tomorrow. You don't know what matchup you're going to get. You just don't want to let it go there. You want to have the longest break before playoffs. You want to take the win versus an opponent that you know you can beat. And so, you know, with the pistols in place and the good start and everything, like, how much did Mouse put into that? How much of it was mental?
It's a map loss. I'm not trying to sound like a Mouse stan, but it still feels like you've got things to be proud of, even though you lost the first map. Hang on to what worked, and just hope that you crack through the defensive Falcons. You know, a nice stomp here in the second map of the series, your pick. That's something that could damn well still be on the cards. And there's that question. You know, we saw great things from m0NESY, but the desk did a good job of highlighting that in their last matchup when Inferno fell the way of Mouse, m0NESY was a non-factor. There's a question as to whether he takes that success of Mirage and applies it here again in the second map. Because there's a question as to whether he'll apply his success throughout Budapest.
This play will actually go towards the very stacked A site.
P957 and a lot of potential.
They're just far back enough to make this a little weird.
Insta-kill for m0NESY. Peeks wide for a second. Spinks will hit them both with the Mac 10. Give it a little jump. And you'll try to just follow suit. But again, stacked bomb site. Oh, insta-kill from both. Nico with another. And Tesses hits the headshot. Double deagle. Falcons send Mouse's head spinning.
It's the perfect kill, the perfect setup at the sickles right there. The two deagles covering each other. Didn't even need to use that crossfire entirely. And that's the other thing. If you measure up X Factor on Mirage, it was all Falcons overall, and it didn't even take that much. Again, like no big clutches or anything like that, but it was like m0NESY's 4K retake on B, Nico's A-holes and his 3Ks and his 2Ks here and there. I think the little bit that came back was Xertion on the pistol versus Nico.
There's a point in this game where our official partners' odds were dead even, no longer the case. Setting Banana ablaze. And Kixan happy to slide out as the fire fades, but the flashes ring out. Oh, he got the dink.
That's incredible.
And then easily finishes off Xertion, who thought he could just press his way past that spray down, but Kixan commits to the mag dump.
Man, he couldn't even see his hands. I don't know how he got that second kill.
Just a little Falcons X Factor.
Okay.
Jimmy gives something over for Falcons to consider.
We've got a theme this round. Spray and pray.
Nico, because Jimmy was up in that apartment, should anticipate somebody there.
CTs have a very strong map because they're trusting m0NESY. He has the op over on B. If they walk up, he gets a free op kill.
Here comes Nico.
Oh.
And Kixan, both dead on both sides of the brackets.
Entire A site's dead.
Everybody walks into that. We get that push from Jimmy out through the apartments. Mouse just sat there and waited.
That's kind of a sick read.
I don't feel like we've really seen Falcons give over moments like that.
The only reason they pushed is because they didn't want to leave m0NESY alone for too long. If they lay B pop, then they have to have some info. Otherwise, they're just going for a slow rotation back. You can't go for this clutch. There's no way.
Just walks away from this. So Mouse, sit back and allow that one to happen. God damn, that all comes off of the Jimmy spam through the smoke on the balcony, and then they just sit and wait.
Such a good call, actually. Instead of Mouse thinking they're pressured to make the move, they leave A site quite quiet, and they think Falcons are going to free re-clear this and that. It's actually a walk up towards m0NESY, because as the time gets that low, you can't just go from the middle of mid and then exec to the A site. There's some things that have to fall into place, whether it's your flash, players getting to the end of halls. That takes a little more time than turning the half wall on B and just running. So just a great call here from Mouse.
This is Jimmy, baby.
I mean, I'm glad they got this one back after Kixan's 2K on B.
Tesses, the moment he jumps up, there's that Torji kill that we don't end up seeing. And Spinks head on a swivel. He's the guy to double down there. By nature of the round win Falcons found, still money to play, obviously. You can thank your Desert Eagles for that one. Mouse coming at Banana immediately over the half half wall with the boost. Kyosuke, right click.
Ooh, gotta disable that.
Doesn't have the setting disabled. Challenge still, and yet because there's 2 and 3 players in position, Falcons' recovery is immediate. Oh, they thought they were gonna be able to run right through it, and Falcons will give them something to think about.
Wasn't a mouse jump, but it was still a mechanical error, not something you normally see from Kyosuke.
Yeah, not something you see at all in CS2, because that's when they added the setting to disable the remove silencer option, so...
You know, maybe he likes to have the option.
He's trying to flex with that USP again, I bet. You gotta keep it on if you're trying to go for style points. He strikes me as the kind of guy that would.
Everyone wants to be simple, but it's just not that easy.
Awkward. It's also awkward, though, that Mouse tried to barrel through that smoke and have to stomach 2 deaths. It was a strong 5v4 moment. Again, we're going to get Falcons with 2 defenders inside this A site. The change-up is that Monacy's here, right? Previously, it was the rifles. Previously, it was the CTs to take that step forward. But at 30 seconds, Mouse are going to remain clumped. And as they do move forward, Monacy actually peels back, playing sight instead.
TSS long range with a FAMAS. Sometimes you'll get a moment out of him, but...
They're so worried about the walk-up, but now that grenade, it's going to announce their intention. Monacy's just got to go into the back of the site and hope he hits these shots, which of course he will. The first one at least. Torsi's going to pressure him into the back corner. Bomb plant will be huge here. Little bit of money to be made, and he's not going to get away with his life. He knew it. Commits to the bomb plant. Gives Mouse a little bit of extra bang for their buck, but it's a Falcons' second round win.
Crazy we get that moment from Kyosuke and they still end up 2-1 in those trades. Another good start for Falcons. This time better close. So we got a good mix of, you know, openings out of Falcons, responses from Mouse. Just never know when you need that silencer off.
Not a bad 4v5
recovery.
recovery.
Just needed 4 more seconds and that would have been fine.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Never mind. Hit by smoke. Monacy wants over this. Not a fun start to the round for Xertion, already sitting on 50. Jimmy's gonna very quickly take control of apartments.
We saw from Falcons last map, they know how to win the right rounds. This is gonna be very expensive for Mouse.
Not all rounds are equal. Kyosuke. Yeah, easy does it on the finishing of Xertion.
That 2's pretty good. One guy here in B, how fast they're gonna go.
Another nade the Mouse have to stomach. Kicksan's got the push coming his way. All while Jimmy's just still floating around in middle. At the minute mark, Kicksan pops up. He's gonna kill Spinks. Dropped empty-handed.
I can't really help but feel those flashes weren't actually helping right there. Stuck up on oranges.
That smoke does actually give Torsi a chance to plant. I mean, he's gonna use the column of the fountain to give cover towards Coffin. Insta headshot here for Torsi. Sends a couple bullets through the smoke, but no contact on what is Monacy's off on the other side of that. You've got Jimmy trying to inch closer. CT's clearing the corners of Banana, but Jimmy just missed his timing. And so as he gets over towards that pit side, Tessa still encroaching slowly, and he'll get the better of Jimmy. Torsi blindsides 2! Oh!
That's a tornado!
From the top of sight, he spins